guys, welcome back to GSL Makeup. If you're new to my channel, my name's Gemma. I'm a makeup artist from Melbourne, Victoria, which is in Australia. And I got sent these makeup brushes by a company called My Makeup Brush Set. This is their logo here. And I'd actually never heard of them before, but they told me they wanted to send me 3 or 4 brushes. They actually sent me 18 brushes in total, and I just wanted to go through them with you and kind of a review basically, see if any of them were up to a makeup artist standard. Now, the real thing about these is that they are a dupe of the Artiste brushes. So this is what, for example, the powder brush looks like. So it's the ones that look like a hairbrush or kind of like a toothbrush, and you use them against the face rather than using it like a pencil. You actually kind of like use it more like a hairbrush really, which is a little bit weird. Now, the first time that I found out about these types of brushes was probably back in about 2014 when I was selling makeup for Kaylin, which is a really amazing brand. And they have a brush called the Oh Wow brush, which is just a foundation brush. I don't think they have any other sizes. They have one that's kind of about that size. So that's how I knew about this sort of style of brushes, but it seems that with the Artiste set coming out and a few others kind of like making dupes for them, it seems to be more of a popular, and MAC as well have them as well. It seems to be more of a popular way for brushes to apply makeup. Is it for everybody? No, I don't think it's for everybody. Am I a fan of this style of brush? Yes and no. Now, I'll go through the brushes with you and I'll show you a little demo of me using the brushes to apply makeup to a model. So these came in kind of like a velvet sort of bag. There are 10 brushes and these are available on mymakeupbrushset.com as well. This set, it's 10 brushes of varying sizes. These retail for $25. It's a really good option if you want to try these brushes, but if you're not sure if you're going to like the style of brush, or if you're going to have trouble adjusting to this new type of application, it's a good way. It's like $25, like seriously, for 10 brushes, like you can't really go wrong. So I'll go through some of these brushes and I'll tell you the ones that I liked and the ones that I didn't like. First, starting off with, okay, let's just start off with probably what's going to be the most popular brush. That's the foundation brush. So this one, it's kind of the size of a teaspoon. And it says foundation brush right here. It's very dense. I would say this is very comparable to the Kaylin Oh Wow brush. It's probably almost identical actually. Very, very dense bristles, very soft bristles. Interesting thing with this, I tried it on myself a couple of times and I just couldn't get along with it. I feel like it was perfect on my cheeks, but then I found it really difficult around my mouth area to really blend. But then when I was using it on a model, I found it really easy and it just smoothed out on her skin perfectly and gave this really beautiful airbrush finish. So I think it's just a matter of just practice. I think I just need to practice, and that's all it is. It's not that it's a bad brush, I just need to practice more because I'm not used to this. I'm a beauty blender or dye kind of girl. Like, I'm all about the sponges to create that absolute flawless finish. So I really just need to sort of open up my mind a little bit more and give these more of a chance. Another one that we have, the blusher brush. It's a larger brush. So that's the foundation, that's the blusher. I love this brush. This applied blush so beautifully, like a fairy's breath, I like to say. Like, you know, just a flush. It just gave this really even, beautiful tone on the model's cheeks. I was really, really happy with this one. Now, just to be fair, because I know I was sent these brushes to do a review and I am going to do a completely honest review, there are a couple of these brushes that I didn't like. One of those brushes was the eyeliner brush. That's what this looks like. It's kind of like a really flat toothbrush. I tried. I tried, I really tried. I found it difficult. Unless your aim is, something on my eye, unless your aim is like full on Amy Winehouse, a situation happening up here, you know, like, you know, serious cat eyes, you're not gonna get a very thin line with this. I feel like it needs to be half the width, and they could probably just get rid of all of this. They could just make it just that much. That's all that they need, really. Okay, they also have, now, so they have this eyeshadow brush, which is very similar to the gel liner brush. So it's flat. I didn't get along great with this. I kind of don't really see the point of it, and I really can't, I'm not really into these flat brushes for applying powder products. And there was another one, the eyebrow brush as well. I did use this on the eyebrows and it was okay. Okay, the lip brush. Look at this. Yeah, this is my lip. Look at this. It's huge. So I'm gonna say no to the lip brush, but this makes a really good concealer brush. So just like getting right under your eyes in the creases there, and just on the outside of your eyes, maybe a bit of contouring. For cream contouring, this would be the bomb. This would be really good. Lip brush, no. I just think that they need to change what they're writing on the brushes. Almost disregard what they say on the brushes, because that's not a lip brush. I wouldn't use that for a lip brush unless I was doing like Pete Burns' lips. Rest in peace, Pete. But yeah, no. Great brush, not for lips though. Okay, one of these brushes I actually used that is called a contour brush. Now I would call the lip brush a contour brush. I would call this more of a pencil brush. And it's kind of like a pencil brush that doesn't have a tapered end, so it's flat. I used this to do a smoky eye and it was great. We have here a nose shadow brush. This is pretty much like that last brush that I showed you, the contour brush, except it's slightly tapered at the end, so it's not flat. That could probably be useful if you do very fine contouring. Now, concealer brush. So I said that I would probably use the lip brush as a concealer brush. I suppose the concealer brush is kind of in the middle of the foundation brush and the lip brush. It's probably a little bit too big to do concealer. This would probably be also really good for cream contouring as well. Again, a useful tool. I'm not going to say I don't like it. Probably just not as a concealer brush, but I do like this brush. And finally, we've got this one, which is the biggest brush. And this is the powder brush. And I found this quite a good powder brush. Be careful though, it picks up a lot of powder. If you're using a setting powder, a loose setting powder, just tap, tap, tap before you use it, because you're just gonna get powder everywhere. It just soaks up all the powder. Now, another thing that they sent me apart from this brush set, and this brush set that I've just showed you, it's called the Oval Brush 10-piece set. And it's available at mymakeupbrushset.com. Okay, so they sent me something else. They sent me in this nice makeup bag here, which is kind of like a faux leather. They sent me another kit, which is called the Princess Brush Set. It's an 8-piece brush set. The brushes are quite sort of small, almost like travel size. This is super cute. So there are 8 pieces to this. And I actually really like a lot of these brushes. So the first thing that I noticed about these brushes was a kabuki brush. So generally I'm a big fan of a kabuki brush. I usually use the Sigma one, which I think is called a something 45. I can't remember. I want to say P45, but I think that's the form that you fill out at work in the UK when you have to do like your tax. I can't remember. Anyway, it's a kabuki brush. It's not as dense. So I'm squeezing that together. As you can see, it's not as dense as the kabuki brush from Sigma. but it's got some density to it, and I think that would probably be a really good foundation blending brush. In this set, you've also got this, I suppose you would call it a powder brush. Like I said before, it's kind of a travel set to me. I would describe it as kind of a travel set, or maybe a set that you would probably buy for like a teenage girl, maybe who is just starting out in makeup. This brush is not quite big enough for powder. You could probably use it for baking, but I like a big fluffy brush for powder. It's probably more, it's kind of halfway between like a bronzing brush and a contour brush and maybe a powder brush. Anyway, speaking of contour brush, they also have one of these, which is kind of sort of flat, kind of like a paintbrush, and that's quite useful as well. I used it on my model just to apply the primer. They have this great fluffy brush. None of these have a name, by the way. They don't have anything written on them. Just a really nice blending fluffy brush that's slightly tapered for eyeshadow. They have this great flat brush, which would be really good for defining smoky eyes. One brush that I really like is this one. It's a flat brow brush, and it's super flat, which I like. It's not too flexible, which I like, so I've been using this to do my brows. Again, I don't know what it's called because they don't have any names, but the whole brush set is called the Princess Brush Set. And then it's got another one that's just a little bit thicker. It's the same sort of flat brush that's angled. It's just a little bit bigger. Finally, we've got another flat brush, which is kind of, it's flat, but it's tapered. So it's a little bit rounded. So that's the brushes. Would I use them in my kit, in my professional kit? I tell you, there is one that I would especially use in my kit, and that is the blusher brush. I really, really liked the effect that this made, and I thought for the money, for $25 for the whole set, I would pay that just to get this one. That's a really good brush. Another thing about these ones, they're super flexible as well. If I really sort of bent that, I guess it would probably snap, but I like the flexibility because I don't know, it's just kind of like, it's gentle, and you can really get a lot of control out of it. They're flexible, but they seem to be pretty strong to me. Another brush that I really did like, the powder brush. I do like the powder brush. Once again, if you're going to use it, tap first, because you're going to have powder everywhere. And of course this one here from the Princess Brush Set. I like this angled, small flat angled brush for eyebrows. That was great. Just want to say thanks to my makeup brush set for sending me these, and I hope you like this video. It's mymakeupbrushset.com. Do check them out, because if you're just starting out in makeup, or even if you're just curious, what's $25, you know? Like, it's not gonna set you back a great deal, and some of these brushes are really good. So check them out, and I'll see you soon. Bye!